Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a review of Part 2 of Boult, the Decca Legacy. Now, this second one, this is actually Volume 3. Volume 2 is like sacred music and whatnot. We'll get to that, so just don't worry. But I just pulled them as they came. Okay, Volume 3, 16 CDs, 19th and 20th century music. Now, a lot of this is accompanimental. And Boult was a very, very generous and accommodating accompanist in Concerti. And that's all we need to say about it. He didn't bring, a tremendous amount of personality to the table. He was not like Eugene Ormandy, who brought gorgeous, gorgeous orchestral accompaniments that had a personality all their own. He was basically there to support the soloist, and that's a perfectly legitimate thing, and that's what he did. So a lot of this box we're going to get through rather quickly, and then we'll see what else he had to offer. First, Beethoven's Violin Concerto with Ruggiero Ricci and the London Philharmonic. That, of course, is in the Ruggiero Ricci box, and we've already talked about it. It's very good. It's okay. It's fine. What the heck? Chopin Piano Concerto No. 1 with Friedrich Gulda. Well, that's interesting. That's an interesting combination. I mean, the Chopin Piano Concertos offer the conductor absolutely nothing by way of accompanimental interest. They are simply there to support the piano, and Boult is there to support the piano, and Gulda is, Gulda. Gulda's an interesting guy in just about everything he did, and this is early Gulda, and it's fun. Some of this stuff is mono, some of it's stereo. I'm not getting into which is which. It all sounds fine. There's no reason you can't listen to it. Saint-Saëns, Cello Concerto No. 1, and Lalo with Zara Nelsova. I like Zara Nelsova. Now, Zara Nelsova was a butch lady pianist. She had some serious chops when it came to the way that she attacked the cello, and all of her recordings are worth hearing. The Saint-Saëns first cello concerto is lovely. The Lalo is a piece of junk, except in its central movement, which is very charming. Lalo's first movements, oh my God. He was someone who should never have attempted anything in sonata form. But it doesn't matter, because the playing's perfectly fine, and the accompaniments are accompaniments. So then we've got Bruch, Violin Concerto No. 1, and Wieniawski, Violin Concerto No. 2, with Misha Elman. Yeah, baby. Ooh, groovy, terrific stuff, isn't it? I have to look at something here while we're talking about this. Misha Elman was one of those old-school romantic pianists who could be just a slob, all over the place, or he could be really very, very good, and kind of idiomatically fun and exciting, which he sort of is here. So I'm happy to have that. I really think that's fun stuff. You should hear Misha Elman. He really was a thing, as he is in this rather more slovenly Tchaikovsky Violin Concerto on disc 5. You also get, this is really fine, kind of fun. You also get the Tchaikovsky Suite No. 3 in stereo with the Paris Conservatoire Orchestra, not the London Phil, thank God. Oh my goodness, Boult, the Paris Conservatoire, can you believe it? And playing Tchaikovsky. Now, the Tchaikovsky Third Suite was a Boult sort of specialty. It was a work he did extremely well. He believed in it, and it worked for him because it was not one of Tchaikovsky's more passionate pieces. Boult was not a guy to emote excessively in music, even when the music demanded it, unfortunately, as we will soon see. But the Tchaikovsky Third Suite is much more of a cool character, and it suited Boult very, very well. It's Paris Conservatory. Oh, it's fun to listen to, and it's in stereo, so that's yummy. Then we've got Mendelssohn and Bruch, Scottish Fantasia, with the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto, with Alfredo Campoli. Campoli was a great violinist. Really a great violinist, somebody with tremendous character and personality and musical smarts. And everything that he heard is important and should be listened to. His Elgar Concerto is marvelous, too. He did all kinds of good stuff in London, and so Campoli is someone worth hearing. Let's see, Tchaikovsky, Symphony No. 3, the Polish. Well, Boult was good at number 3s. He was also good at music that needed special pleading, as Tchaikovsky's Third sort of does. Now, you may not find this to be the most dashing of all the Tchaikovsky thirds. I mean, the London Philharmonic, this is the first stereo release, by the way, which is exciting. The London Philharmonic in 1956, I mean, it was just a scruffy band. And it was a scruffy band in a way that, I mean, lots of orchestras were scruffy, but they had a lot of character. The LPO never had much personality, along with its scruffitude, to make it sound more interesting, even when it wasn't all together. It was just kind of blah. And Boult just had to deal with that. He did deliver some wonderful performances, of course, because you could always galvanize a blah band into doing something wonderful. Sometimes he did, sometimes he didn't. This is not a wonderful Tchaik third, but it's a good one. It's perfectly solid. Then we've got more Tchaikovsky, the 1812 Overture and Hamlet. Well, what can I say? Do you want to hear? Let me see. Is this stereo or mono? It's mono. I thought so when I was listening to it. I was like, well, Okay, never mind. That's all I can tell you. Life is too short. The 1812 Overture is just terrible. Oh, my goodness. Okay, Rachmaninoff, Piano Concerto No. 1, and the Tchaikovsky Concert Fantasy with Peter Caton and the London Phil. Now, that is, interesting repertoire, and it's very nicely done. The Tchaikovsky Concert Fantasy, particularly, is a wonderful work, a really marvelous work that nobody ever plays, and it really deserves to be. It's concerto length. It's in 2 big movements. They last in this performance 27 minutes. It's a lively performance, a very, very fine one, and what an interesting piece. It's nice to see Boult pushing not the ordinary Tchaikovsky. Although you can kind of see why, because in the 50s, you had everybody doing Tchaikovsky, and the people who were really good at it, like, Koussevitzky and those people. So, we didn't need to hear Adrian Boult's somewhat less exciting Tchaikovsky. Rachmaninoff, Piano Concerto No. 2, Franck, Symphonic Variations, Litolf, Concerto Symphonique No. 4 Scherzo with Clifford Curzon. That's a classic. It's just a classic. Some people like Curzon and Rachmaninoff, some people don't, but it's a wonderful record. I enjoyed it enormously. Rachmaninoff, Paganini Rhapsody, and Dochnani Variations on a Nursery Song with Julius Katchen. Now you get this coupling twice in mono, and then on CD12, they redid it again in stereo in 1960. They're both terrific performances. They really are, because of Julius Katchen, who's exciting. It's just exciting as hell. And that's really, really fun. Boult, again, he's not Reiner. You don't get all the glitter in these pieces, unfortunately. But he's solid. He's there. He's along for the ride. There's something to be said for Boult and his accompanists, because he really did encourage them and allow them to do their best work. You have to give him credit for that. He was a congenial person to work with. And that's an aspect of his artistry, even if he wasn't terribly exciting by himself. Rachmaninoff Symphony No. 2. This is the cut-down version, somewhat cut down. And I have to say, I like this performance. I've always liked this performance. And the reason is because it was the one I imprinted on. My mother had the recording, the original recording. I even remember the album cover, I think, was a Fabergé egg. You'll tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it was. But it's a beautiful, flowing performance of a work that, quite frankly, can very easily sound heavy and thick and glutinous. And it's not. It's not as passionate as some others either, but it gets the job done if you like the cut version. It's Boult at his best in this Russian repertoire, I think. It really is. It's very good. Then he did Rachmaninoff No. 3 and the Russian Easter Overture. This is Boult at his worst in the Russian repertoire. This is a Rachmaninoff 3 that is the most brain-dead, passionless, expressively neutered, castrated. Whatever you want to call it, it has no testicles, none, zero. And the playing is just grotty. And it was a stereo recording. It also comes with a dreadful Russian Easter Overture. They're just horrible, perfunctory, embarrassing run-throughs, as bad as it gets. Atrocious. Ugh. It's amazing. The same guy who did the second. The pieces are very different. The works are very different. The second has a hard-on-sleeve emotionalism that can't do anything with. You can't destroy it, really. It survives a relatively straightforward approach. The third, you got to get behind it. You got to really get behind it and give it a zotz. Well, Boult was not a guy for a zotz. There's no zotz in Boult, none at all. Then we've got Prokofiev, Lieutenant Kijé, and with the Paris Conservatoire, yay! And the Love for Three Oranges Suite with the London Phil. I mean, they're not great. They're okay. They're okay. They get the job done. They're all right. Not the best. I mean, it's not Ormandy and Kijé or Zell or, the Love for Three Oranges, Yarvi. You've got people who just really dig in. Boult was not a digger. So there you go. And then we've got Mahler, Kindertotenlieder, and Songs of a Wayfarer, that famous disc with the Wiener Philharmoniker, the Vienna Phil, and Kirsten Flagstad at the very end of her career. The voice is still beautiful. The interpretation is perfectly idiomatic. Vienna Philharmonic is the Vienna Philharmonic. It's a wonderful disc. A wonderful disc, and Boult, again, is there as the extremely sympathetic accompanist. So, what is the Decca legacy? It's largely one of Boult accompanying other people and staying out of the way. But, it's good that he stays out of the way. And those other people, most of them are just terrific. So this is a fun box to have, where he does come forward to the Tchaikovsky Third Suite, the Third Symphony, Rachmaninoff 2. Those are very good. Rachmaninoff 3, I shudder to think about it. But, that's not a bad record. I mean, it's not a bad average, let's put it that way. So this is a good box. I enjoyed it very much. And if you don't have the boxes devoted to the individual artists or all of this material in some earlier release, go for it. I mean, you can't go wrong. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.